Hi guys. Good evening, guys. Welcome to What's on Your Mind Wednesday live. It's good to have you guys here with me today. It's another day to counsel, to guide someone. I'm really beginning to like this stuff, because it's one of the things that I do that it's quite rewarding without having to have monetary reward to it. It's it's um, it's quite rewarding to be able to counsel people, be there for people, and you don't get paid for it. You realize that it's not everything that requires some form of payment. Um, there has to be some form of humanitarian services that are quite rewarding. Humanitarian services are quite rewarding, especially when you do this for people that might not be able to pay you back. When you do things for people that won't be able to do back for you. Like I said, what's on your mind when the life started during the lockdown, or we started having it regularly during the lockdown of last year? Because a lot of people were confused, especially when it came to earnings. A lot of people were confused and they didn't know what to do. And I was getting a lot of calls, a lot of people were calling in, and what do I do? What do people in the network. So, yeah, I have a way of talking with the people in the network, but how can I also be a blessing and of assistance to people that are not in the network? And that was where this started, on this scale, to this scale, and where I now have to speak to people that I don't know of. What does it entail? Just putting in your, all you just need to do is just put in your questions in my DM. We pick it up from any of the social media handles, and we pick it up from there, and I will answer the question for you. And that's pretty much how it started. Then as we started, I started letting them know Marketplace Apostles has uh, 5 areas of concern, or 5 areas, yeah, of focus rather. And that is where we focus in all our teachings is directed towards these 5 areas: the area of business, career, leadership, personal finance, and relationships and life issues. And so we have a lot of questions come in these areas, and we try to do to the best of our ability. We try to answer those questions, and God has been good. The testimonies amount every week. They pile up every week, and there are people telling us thank you, people, reaching out and writing those things. So it's been quite rewarding. That's why I say it's not every service that requires someone paying, requires you to be paid for it. Some, there's a internal payment, something that is worth physical payment. I know, and I'm happy to do this. And all you just need to do is just send in your questions, and I will come and answer it. If this is your first time, welcome, welcome to Instagram. We have 2 Instagram pages. We have Making Nigeria page, or Making Nigeria on Instagram. We also have Uchonochi on Instagram. We have 2 communities, one community for Uchonochi and the other for Make in Nigeria. Why do we have two on Instagram, and we are live on both? Is because we have a Make in Nigeria community. And this Making Nigeria community is a community that we got from all our Making Nigeria exhibition and conference that we do. So we have people from there, and we promise them that we will always be there for them. We promise them that we will always answer their questions, counsel them. So that's why we have two communities. Someone asked me that, so I needed to clarify. We're also on Facebook, we are on YouTube, and we are on Zoom, whichever you want. Because I teach also on Mondays. I teach also on Mondays, and so I use PowerPoint presentations. So if you want um, to learn with PowerPoint, or you want to follow me on PowerPoint, then you have to come to Zoom. All our adverts on social media have a Zoom link, and the link is recurring, so it's the same link that we use over and over again. So I want to welcome you guys today to What's on Your Mind and Wednesday Live. I will just go ahead and answer these questions that I have today with me. Okay, I have Joanna from Port Harcourt, and Joanna says that, good afternoon, sir. Please, I need guidance to navigate a situation, okay? My 4-year-old daughter has shown an aptitude for football, and my husband wants to dissuade her. I am of the opinion that we should allow her to express her love for the sports, but he says she could be doing better things than playing football. His concern is that she will be a tomboy and have an unnecessarily difficult future. As a result, I don't see it that way. Joanna, I also do not see it that way. I sincerely do not see it that way with your husband. So I agree with you 100% on this. Because we've tried, some of us, my age group, parents dictated what children are to do. Parents dictated based on what the parents wanted, not necessarily what the child wants. So they dictated to the extent that not what the parents want, but not what the child wants, but also what the parent wanted. So you can't bring up children based on, yes, you can receive from God. Some people can say they receive from God concerning the direction that a child will go, and it might not be completely 100% because we see in parts, we prophesy in parts. So even as a parent, you can't see everything that is going to happen in the life of a child. This is the work of a parent. The work of a parent is to guide, to train and guide a child on their way, making that transition into adulthood. Because now, when they become adults, they won't forget the things that you have taught them. So if you allow, and the thing you need to realize that when they are kids, you need to start telling them the consequences of the things that they do. If you have a child that has this taking things from his brothers and taking things from his friends, he won't understand that he's stealing. He wouldn't understand that that thing is stealing because he feels that, oh, okay, I can just, I remember when I was in secondary school, you used to call it tapping. I can just tap from somebody. You know, to you is a game. But when you try it as an adult, the adult has the right to call police for you. And not only tarnish your name, but it tarnish the name of your family. The same thing with criminal activities. They need to understand that There are repercussions at home. Yes, you can quarrel, beat them, spank them, but if it gets out there, it becomes a different thing entirely. I do not see this. She's just 4 years old. All I see, as far as I'm concerned, all I see is someone that is athletic. She might grow up now and is even volleyball she wants to do or basketball she wants to do, not even necessarily that football. I think she's too young for, I think it's too young for us to draw conclusions concerning her life. She's 4 years. I think we should be guiding her right to do the things that 4-year-olds do. She has, you said she has aptitude for desire for football. Why won't she be encouraged? She should be encouraged, and she should be allowed to do what she loves. You know, and if it's playing football and someone that is as into sports, I don't think there's any problem. Do you know that abroad they pay, if you play sports, if you're into sports, the school will give you 100% scholarship. So if this football, you want her to go and have a degree, fine, because football, you expire. If it's about football, 30, 32, you expire as a footballer. So you can still have a life. So if it's the university, schools will take her, even clubs will take her and pay for her university if she's that good. I don't think any child should be stopped at all. Our parents made this mistake. I don't think we should make the same mistake of having to hold back our children from doing things they love and doing things that we see that they have a flair for. So she has a flair for football. It doesn't make her into a tomboy. Now, what do you mean? Tomboy is a certain characteristics of some women that have male genes more than necessary. It doesn't mean that she cannot have a productive life. Even if you don't let her, play that football and she's a tomboy, she will still exhibit it in other areas. So if you don't let her pursue this thing, she's going to develop the thing I've seen with gifted people or people that have a flair for things. If you stop her from football, she's going to, next day she'll tell you she's entering into music. The next day she tells you she's entering into this. And as she's growing, after a while, she's not talking to you and you don't even know what she's doing out there. Until one day you see that she's even doing the one that is worse than you thought. So I don't think in any way, any form at all, I don't think that child should be stopped. What is tomboy having unnecessarily difficult future? How? I know a lot of ladies that there are tomboys in the university. It didn't stop them from becoming successful, as many of them are married today. They have children. I don't see that as a hindrance in any way at all. I don't see that as a hindrance in any way, in any shape or form, how you can determine the girl's life. The girl is still 4 years old. So I think that there's still time for us to be able to, Joanna, to watch this girl, to watch her, and we'll see how things will span out. But I think she's doing great. Now it comes to your husband. I think that obviously for you to have this, for you to say this out here, it means that you guys have had a talk. If you haven't had a talk, I think you sincerely need to have a talk with your husband and urge your own views. That I don't think anybody being a tomboy is a problem. I don't think so. I don't think it's unproductive. Athletes do very well. Footballers do very well. can you imagine they pay somebody 200,000 pounds a week? I think that that's unfair to all of us that work as if we are going to drop dead. But they are paying somebody 200, and you say that that thing is not lucrative. The female footballers are agitating. They want the same payment as men, but they are well paid also. They are well paid. So it's not something people pay to go and watch them. It is not something that is second class. It's not something that you do because you don't have anything better to do. It's just like being able to sing. You can sing because you are talented. In as much as I love football, I played football until NYSC. That's when I stopped. But it doesn't mean that I can like football. It doesn't mean that I want to pursue that. I did not. And some people that decided to pursue it's not all of them that became successful. Some are successful, some are not. I think it's something people will go around the circle. I remember when I was small, they asked me, what do I want to be when I grow up? I said, I want to be a bishop. Why did I want to be a bishop? Because I like the bishop attire, especially the hat. Then my mom went to the UK and bought me the bishop attire. I said that that's my calling in life. Because as a child, I saw that attire and I was asking my parents, so when I go to university, I'll go and read to become a bishop. They started laughing. Because that was what I could see. So a 4-year-old can exhibit anything. I think it's too early. And if I just see a child that is athletic, or a child that will be into sports, she should be encouraged without any form of hindrance whatsoever. And to your husband, yeah, you need to find people, especially with men. We like to think that we think with logic. A man that does not listen to somebody is a loose cannon. Most men respect. There are people that they respect. There are people that can call them to order. There might not be more than one in a lifetime, but if your husband has people that they respect, not necessarily his parents or siblings, I think you shouldn't even be his parents or his siblings. Those can support, but I think that if there's it can be a pastor, it can be a business partner, it can be anything that from the way he talks to him. Somebody needs to sit down and talk to your husband and see reasons. Let him see reasons. There's nothing wrong with that child. I don't understand when you say his concern she will be a tomboy and have unnecessarily difficult future as a result. I don't get it. I don't get it. Why? What is tomboy having an unnecessarily difficult future? I don't get it. Is it in terms of marriage and all those? I don't get it. It's not in any way, and being a tomboy doesn't also necessarily mean that you will become gay or you become a lesbian. It doesn't follow. Only God understands why people come out that same way. There are men that have you see them, they have some feminine features, but they are not gay. They are married, they have kids. In fact, I even come to, as I was growing up, I thought that men that are even the ones they call playboys. I feel that those ones play a lot that have those features. From the things I could observe, it didn't make them gay or homosexual. The same thing, a woman has more resemblance or has more in her. I think every man has a part. I don't know how it's put. Every man has a bit of female genes inside of him and vice versa. Female genes inside of him. So, but the thing is that for some people, the genes are more than others. So, because it's that way, they might tend to be this, but it doesn't stop them from being that. So, because she's athletic, I think you should be happy that you have a daughter that is agile, that will be into sports. I think you should go to church and give thanksgiving, not be worried that he's going to live an unnecessarily difficult future as a result. I don't think so. get your husband or get someone to talk to your husband and talk sense and give him the facts and give him reasons to see that two of you should join your hand in making sure that this girl becomes all that God has called her to be. Because if you stand in her way, you are standing the way of God, in the way of God. Many years ago, a pastor told me this when I just made a careless statement as a very young man coming out of university. I said, I don't understand. One of our friends that was even very good, no, I think he was in secondary school. And I'll say, how will somebody go and become a policeman? We didn't understand that a friend of ours that was in our group in secondary school wanted to become a policeman. We couldn't get it. We couldn't get it off our head. But someone gave me a counsel and said, look, let me tell you, there are some professions that I knew that you cannot even want to be. There are people that all their desire is to be soldiers. Why would somebody want to be a soldier and to go and die for a country, especially if you have some beef concerning with your country? How will you want to go and die for that country? But some people are cut out to do the job of the armed forces. Some people are cut out to be doctors. Some will say, why will I want to be a doctor? I can't stand blood. I hate hospital. Why will I want to be a banker? But there are certain people that are already been or designed, ordained by God to be those people. There's some people that are good in sports. It's a gift. It's just like a gift of the gap or gift of being able to sing. I don't see it any different. So now if you're trying to stop this girl from being a sportswoman, how you are trying to truncate the will of God in her life. And I don't think anybody should stand in the way of God. Take this as a warning. If you stop her from sports, she's going to enter another thing. And that thing you might not know until it's too late. And that is the thing that will be destructive, not the football. But God will not let it happen. He will not let it happen. In Jesus' name, He won't let it happen. But please get someone to talk to your husband, and let him see and, give him all the examples. I believe he will turn around. I think, men are just protective of their daughters at times. It's just a male thing. Men are overprotective of their daughters. So maybe he's just being overprotective. But I believe with time, he can come out of it. So I think we should just give him. I hope I've helped you, Joanne. If not, you can still drop your DM with me again, and I will also be able to answer you. Let me move on to the second question of the day, and it says, "Good afternoon, sir. This is for Maya Momo from Lagos. Maya says that, or Mia says that, good afternoon, sir. My challenge is that I've noticed a trend in my life I don't like. I start out having a passion, get skilled in it, and start rendering it as a paid service. Then it becomes overwhelming and I get tired of it. It has happened with sewing, with music production, joint house plans. How can I avoid this path moving forward? It's making me look confused. Maya, I would just say that I think is your mindset. I think it's the mindset of not waiting for things to mature. I don't want to, if I want to give it a name, it's my own, it's like abandoned project syndrome, kind of, because of the challenges that you might meet. I need to probably just call it that abandon syndrome, abandon project syndrome, because they are overwhelming at times, or things are not falling into place. I think you need to do a lot of soul searching to understand that the things we do in life, there are two things we do. One is to understand your purpose in life, and also to understand how you can earn. If you don't get those two things, you're going to continue to move in circle. What was I created to do? What solution was I created to offer to the world? And because if you get it, you will be able to do it. All these things you are saying, it's perhaps is not what you love. Because the definition of success, my own success, definition of success for me is doing what you love, putting in all into something that you love. People that are successful are not doing things they are being forced to do. They're not doing it necessarily for the money. They're doing it because they love to do that thing. What do you want? What is it? What is this? What solution can you offer to the world? Don't look at it as a solution that you can offer to one person, two people. What is the solution you can offer to the world? What is your purpose? At some point in my life, I thought my purpose was simple: to be very rich and to help people, to be a philanthropist. That if you ask me what I want, what is my passion, I said, I want to be a philanthropist. To an extent, it is true, but it wasn't well defined. It wasn't well defined as it is now. It wasn't well defined, because now I understand. I started working, and I was working, I was growing, I was increasing in the work, but I wasn't satisfied until I started doing my purpose, which is what? Grooming, teaching, and seeing people become all that God has called them to be. And that's what I do. Most of what we do is free. Most of what people will charge my organization that I'm in, we do it for free. Only in few places, if not just two out of over 20 activities that we do, only two is where we charge a fee. It's because I love doing what I do. That's why I come here to mentor people I don't know and don't give me anything. It's because of that passion that I have for what I do. I don't know you. You are in Lagos, I'm in Port Harcourt. I don't know you. But because of that passion, I will develop myself and do it even when I don't feel like, but the passion pulls me to do that. So if you have that passion, what is it that you do? If you cannot afford to do the business or whatever you can do, then you can perhaps work until you are ready to do this. That's one way. Another way is, another thing I want to talk to you about is, if you don't stay in it, you will never get the best out of it. You say you become overwhelmed. What is success? Ability to rise above situations that overwhelm you. Wisdom to navigate through the hurdles that you meet. Being overwhelmed is going through the hurdles, is passing through the hurdles. Everything will overwhelm you. Okay, now I'll give you an example. Someone like me, I read every day as if I have a PhD thesis every day to defend. I will be overwhelmed if I don't like to read. I don't love to read or to research and to do the things that I do and to come and speak. It will be overwhelming. But I know that this is what I have to do For me, I live a regimented lifestyle. When I tell people the kind of life I live when I get up in the morning, and people are wondering, why are you up 3:30, 4 in the morning every day? Don't you have a life? This is my life. I might not have a life the way you see the life, but I have a life. And this is the life I choose to be able to do what I do. So I've developed the ways. Sometimes you can ask, don't I, how do I last? I have developed a rhythm that works for me, a system that works for me. And sometimes during the day, what are days that I have to stay long? There's what is called power nap, that you can nap anywhere to help you to be able to continue to be to do what you do. Life in itself is overwhelming, but you don't give up and take another trade. You can't be master of every single thing. You cannot be the master of all. You have to master one thing. You have to master one thing. And that one thing, or one thing per time. I understand when you say you are overwhelmed. It happens to all of us. Even to the very successful ones, they are overwhelmed. It doesn't mean that you will drop it. If sewing, fashion designing is your thing, why don't you stay there? There's no profession that you just come start, all of a sudden things begin to move for you. Yes, in the first 6 months, even to 1 year, things might be going well for you, then you hit a brick wall. Nobody will call you. You call them, they won't pick your number. It's like your heavens are closed. It happens to everybody. But when you stay at it, stay on it, and keep finding out, so what did I do when I was successful? What did I do right then? What did I do? What did I do then? So maybe I can replicate it now. The time that seemed to you as if it's short, close heavens, is the time to reassess the things that you have done. Because let me tell you something, Maya, you realize that success to me is having a clear model routine that brings you that success. If not, success that is a fluke cannot be repeated. Success that is a fluke is success that cannot be repeated. So because it cannot be repeated, what happens? Because it cannot be repeated, what happens? You now realize that you begin again to grope in the dark, looking for how to come out of it. When you are overwhelmed is when you need to re-strategize. When you are overwhelmed is when you need to re-strategize and start all over again. Not to drop it and enter into music production. Music production is easy. You know, you can see artists and say, oh, they can sing. What does it take to become a musician? Until you try it. What does it take to produce songs? Until you try it. Then you go to drawing plans. There is no profession, there's no service that is easy. There's no product that is easy. There's no service that is easy. You just have to stay there and give it your best so that that thing will also give you its best. If you do not give it your best, you will not also receive your best from it. So you just need to find that where you feel fulfilled, where you think you can add value, even if you don't understand the concept, of calling and passion and all those things, understand the concept of what is it that I love to do, or where do you think that you can add value? Where in the society do you think that there's a gap that you can feel. Once you locate that place that you feel that there's a gap here, I can feel it, you have a service. Then now having a service is just the first hurdle. How can I turn this service to become commercial? How can I turn into a commercial venture? This is where most of us get stuck because we don't know how to turn a business into a commercial vine venture. I see doctors that were good working in a hospital. When they start their own hospital, it folds up after 18 months because they don't understand how to run. They think that being a doctor means you can run a hospital. No. You have to have business skills to run it as a going concern. And the same thing happens to our profession, all professions. You need to know how to run it. So people get stuck. They get stuck on how to turn that service into a commercially viable venture. And that's where they get stuck. And I believe that that's what you're calling overwhelmed, that you get overwhelmed. And when you get overwhelmed, you just try something else. I think that it is time for you to go to what you love. Identify that there must be something that you love. Go back to it, start it, then go to a business school. Go to a business school and learn how to run a business. You will know how to face all these challenges. You will go through all these challenges. You can even go to my website, ucheonochie.com. You will see a lot of the things. You see ebooks and you see audios that you can get that can help you. Or you also go to my YouTube channel, and you will see them all in my YouTube channel. You see most of what you're looking for in my YouTube channel, Uche Onochie channel, on YouTube. You can get some of them. What you don't get, you can get on my website. Or you go to any business center, any business school near you, so that you'll be able to translate that idea into reality. That's where you are stuck. There's nothing wrong with you or what you're doing. There's nothing wrong with you. It's just understanding how to commercialize that idea, how to transform it to become a going concern. Everybody is stuck there. And if you don't understand it, you can't scale more than that level. And it begins to look as if, oh, something is wrong. I'm not doing it. Maybe this is not what I should be doing. No. Any venture you venture into, you will still get to that point. You still get to that point. You know, sometimes there's an illusion of when we start a business, things will just be going well for us. Then after a while, everything will get short. Because now, they've welcomed you in. Now you have to begin to use skills and strategies to take that business forward. That's how it's worked for everybody. Even to me that is talking to you, that's how it works. So there's nothing wrong with me, Mia. There's nothing wrong with you. I think that it is just getting to understanding those things. You need a mentor. Maybe you need a mentor. You need a mentor. I coach people. If you want me to coach you, you can reach out to me. I can coach you. There are different ways I can coach you. I have a coaching outfit. So if you're interested, you can reach out to me. I can take within a short time, set you on the right path, understand the business, what you want to do. I can guide you. Yeah, I can guide you. So you can reach out to me, and we can discuss how that can be possible. Because I think you need help. You need help, and it's just for me to guide you through that particular hurdle. And afterwards, you'll be free. You'll be free to go and become all. You need a mentor, someone that will speak to you. If not, you keep thinking, going around the same circle. Mentorship, getting a mentor is what is going to take you out of this level. So I will, for all of you, if If you are interested in that, you can always reach out to me. I will be able to do that for you. Okay, so I've come to the end of this mentoring session here today. But please, before you go, I just want to leave you with some information. Every Monday, I have a webinar on the 5 areas of focus in Marketplace Apostle. One is business, career, leadership, personal finance, and relationship and life issues. This is what we do here. Every Monday, I come and I teach webinar style to entrepreneurs and leaders. And please just make it a date. It's 5 p.m. West African time. This mentoring session is 4 p.m. Nigerian and West African time. Monday is 5 p.m. I look forward to seeing you. We are talking about the law of compensation. Especially the younger ones need to understand that there is a law of compensation. I'll be dealing with the law of compensation on Monday, 5 p.m. Nigerian time, West African time. So please, I hope to see you. Make it a date. Make it a date. Let's understand that there are laws that govern this universe. There are laws, and when you go against those laws, you pay for it. But when you walk in alignment with those laws will work for you. So let's see what this law of compensation is all about. Join me on Monday, and I'm sure you will really find it very, very interesting. I hope to see you on Monday. In November, gear up, we have our TMG forum. For those of you that came from Make in Nigeria, we have the TMG forum in November. I will give you the date. We will begin to advertise it soon for the TMG forum, and please make it a date at that time for you to be able to attend, so that we promise on a weekly basis we will carry our Make in Nigeria community along, and we are doing that. And we now have a forum where it will be interactive. I will just lay, or whoever is talking will just lay a foundation, then it becomes interactive. We'll take your questions and answers so that we can learn more. TMG forum is an interactive forum, so there we can talk more and grow more. And please like our page, like Make in Nigeria, like Uchonochim, like Marketplace Apostle, so you can get the information that you want. Please, if there's more, you can just send us a DM. Somebody will answer you outrightly, and somebody will answer you. Thank you for making out time today. Thank you for coming. I appreciate all of you from Make in Nigeria. I appreciate those of you in all the communities we have. Those of you in, on Facebook also. I want to thank you all for tuning in today. I hope to see you on Monday. The law of compensation. Don't miss it. It promises to be awesome. Please invite someone. God bless you. Good night.